As tensions between North Korea and the U.S. haven't dissipated, President Trump on Monday announced that he is designating the Asian nation a state sponsor of terror again. Designation will come with new sanctions on North Korea, Trump said during a cabinet meeting. He said the country has repeatedly supported acts of international terrorism, including assassinations on foreign soil. Trump said the designation was long overdue. North Korea was on the list but was taken off by the Bush administration in 2008. From calling on North Korean leader Kim Jong-un to come to the table for negotiations regarding its nuclear weapons program to dubbing him Rocket Man, here's a look at what Trump has said about North Korea over time. The U.S. is locked and loaded, Trump took to social media on August 11 to proclaim that the U.S. military is locked and loaded in case North Korea acts unwisely. Fire and fury isn't tough enough with the threat of nuclear violence growing. Trump warned North Korea on August 8 that he would unleash fire, fury and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before. But when tensions continued to rise and North Korea threatened to attack Guam, Trump said maybe that comment wasn't tough enough. Let's see what Kim Jong-un does with Guam. He does something in Guam, it will be an event the likes of which nobody has seen before. What will happen in North Korea? Trump said on August 10. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said Trump is sending a strong message to North Korea in language that Kim Jong-un can understand, because he doesn't seem to understand diplomatic language. Kim Jong-un is not getting away with it. Trump also said this week that Kim Jong-un has disrespected our country greatly. He has said things that are horrific. And with me, he's not getting away with it, Trump said. He got away with it for a long time, between him and his family. He's not getting away with it. It's a whole new ballgame. Strategic patience is over. After meeting with the South Korean president in Washington, D.C., in June, Trump said that the era of strategic patience with the North Korean regime has failed. Frankly, that patience is over, he said. As Trump made these comments, the U.S. was rocked with the death of Otto Warmbier, the 22-year-old American college student who suffered extensive brain damage while being held captive for more than a year. There are worse things than assassinating Kim Jong-un. In an interview with CBS News during the presidential campaign, Trump said he could get China to make Kim Jong-un disappear in one form or another very quickly. In this undated photo provided by the North Korean government, leader Kim Jong-un celebrates what is said to be the first successful test launch of an intermediate Rangwa-12 missile. AP photo. Korean Central News Agency. When asked if he was talking about assassinating the North Korean dictator, Trump shrugged. Well, you know, I've heard of worse things, frankly. I mean, this guy's a bad dude, and don't underestimate him. Trump said. Any young guy that can take over from his father with all those generals and everybody else that probably wants the position, this is not somebody to be underestimated. What the hell is wrong with speaking? Trump told supporters at a campaign rally in Atlanta that should Kim Jong-un want to come to the U.S., he would be accepted. I wouldn't go there, that I can tell you. If he came here, I'd accept him, but I wouldn't give him a state dinner like we do for China and all these other people that rip us off when we give them these big state dinners. Trump said in June 2016. What the hell is wrong with speaking? Trump said, referencing the criticism he received for being willing to talk with North Korea. It's called opening a dialogue. Maniac. During a GOP presidential debate in September 2015, Trump railed on the maniac in North Korea while answering a question about Planned Parenthood and women's health issues. Nobody ever mentions North Korea, where you have this maniac sitting there, and he actually has nuclear weapons, and somebody better start thinking about North Korea and perhaps a couple of other places. But certainly North Korea, Trump said. You have somebody right now in North Korea who has got nuclear weapons and who is saying almost every other week, I'm ready to use them, and we don't even mention it, he continued. China needs to solve the problem. Even before he was president, Trump urged China to step in and help alleviate problems with North Korea. North Korea can't survive, or even eat, without the help of China. President Trump. North Korea is reliant on China. China could solve this problem easily if they wanted to, but they have no respect for our leaders, Trump tweeted in March 2013. In April 2013, Trump continued that line of thinking, adding that North Korea can't survive, or even eat, without the help of China. He then accused China of taunting the U.S. whack job. In April 2013, Trump urged then-President Barack Obama to be very careful with the 28-year-old whack job in North Korea. At some point we may have to get very tough, he tweeted. Negotiate like crazy. Trump warned that the U.S. needed to do something to stop North Korea in 1999 during an interview with the late Tim Russert on Meet the Press. Do you want to do it in 5 years when they have warheads all over the place, every one of them pointing to New York City, to Washington and every one of us? Is that when you want to do it, or do you want to do something now? Trump said, "You'd better do it now. And if they think you're serious, they'll negotiate and it'll never come to that." He said then that if he ever became president, the first step he would take would be to negotiate like crazy to make sure that the country would get the best deal possible. Trump also predicted then that in 3 or 4 years, North Korea would have weapons aimed all over the world, including at the U.S. No more talking after North Korea said it successfully launched a missile over Japan, a U.S. ally, and into the Pacific Ocean. Trump initially had a surprisingly subdued response. Threatening and destabilizing actions only increase the North Korean regime's isolation in the region and among all nations of the world, Trump said in a written statement after North Korea's missile soared almost 1,700 miles into the Pacific Ocean, triggering alert warnings in northern Japan and shudders throughout Northeast Asia. All options are on the table. The missile launch was said to be a precursor to North Korea's containment of the U.S. territory of Guam by leader Kim Jong-un, according to state-run media. But in a tweet Wednesday morning, the president suggested the U.S. is finished talking to North Korea. The U.S. has been talking to North Korea and paying them extortion money for 25 years. Talking is not the answer, Trump tweeted. Rocket Man is on a suicide mission. After dubbing him Rocket Man in a tweet, Trump eventually tried out the new nickname for Kim Jong-un during his inaugural address to the UN General Assembly. During his speech, Trump vowed to totally destroy North Korea if the country so provokes him. He also said Kim was on a suicide mission. The North Korean ambassador to the UN left the room ahead of Trump's speech in a boycott, let's make a deal. While on his Asia trip, Trump has implored North Korea to come to the table for talks on its nuclear weapons program. Trump's request for North Korea to make a deal is in stark contrast to his previous hardline rhetoric when it comes to the rogue nation. It makes sense for North Korea to come to the table and make a deal that is good for the people of North Korea and for the world, Trump said during a news conference alongside South Korean President Moon Jae-in on November 7. He also said he's seen a lot of progress in dealing with North Korea. However, he did not say if he wanted direct diplomatic discussions to begin. Trump did, however, call North Korea a worldwide threat. In a joint news conference with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in Tokyo the day before, Trump repeated his assertion that the era of strategic patience with North Korea was finished. Some people say my rhetoric is very strong, but look what has happened with very weak rhetoric in the last 25 years, Trump said then. Don't try using Asia. Trump issued a stern warning to North Korea, saying it would be a fatal miscalculation for the country to attack the U.S. or an ally. This is a very different administration than the United States has had in the past. Do not underestimate us. And do not try us, Trump said during an address at South Korea's National Assembly. Trump reiterated his warning on Twitter. North Korea has interpreted America's past restraint as weakness, Trump said. After Trump's remarks in Seoul, Pyongyang issued a warning of its own. The U.S. must oust the lunatic old man from power and withdraw the hostile policy towards North Korea at once in order to get rid of the abyss of doom, state-run Korean Central News Agency said Wednesday. The U.S. had better make a decisive choice if it does not want a horrible nuclear disaster and tragic doom. Maybe someday we can be friends. In a series of tweets Sunday from Vietnam, Trump said he doesn't know why the North Korean dictator would insult him. Why would Kim Jong-un insult me by calling me old, when I would never call him short and fat, Trump said. Oh well, I try so hard to be his friend and maybe someday that will happen. The comment came after Kim Jong-un referred to Trump's speech in South Korea as reckless remarks by an old lunatic. State sponsor of terror. Trump redesignated North Korea a state sponsor of terror on November 20, citing its support of international terrorism, including assassinations on foreign soil. During a cabinet meeting, Trump announced the designation will come along with new sanctions on the murderous regime as part of the administration's maximum pressure campaign in dealing with North Korea. He said these sanctions will be the highest level of sanctions on the North. The Associated Press contributed to this report.